Big cat, how you came to be is no longer a mystery. Black sheep is your birthright. It's code for the one who brings the light. I bet if there's a crack, you don't fall back. Remember who you are. No rest for the wicked with their skullduggery. The use spell workers' projection to send out envy, hate, and jealousy. You are the prototype, your ancestors champion. They shield you and send back those spiritual attacks. You are divinely protected from the dummy bats. Yeah. Big cat, the most high, got your back. He sits high and looks low, so don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Big cat moving silence. Only time you speak is to say checkmate.
Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat. Welcome or welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555. Or your message or massage is. Come in! Come on! I've got intel. Recon is afoot. Bestie, oi, can we have a quick chat? But then again, who gonna check me boo? Ha ha! Excusez-moi s'il vous plaît. Bestie, guess what? Your spiritual ranking is higher than their physical title. They may have more than you, yet still they stay mad at you for being you. I know, bestie. I know. They wished poverty, illness, and death on you. And Spirit sent them a memo of your spiritual ranking. Yes, it did. Yes, the memo showed up for them in forms of mental or physical illness, debt, betrayal, just to name a few things that was on the memo. You instinctively knew exactly whom to cut off. Yes, you did. At the appropriate time to do said cuttation. Your success will always hit them differently, darling dears. When they spake, S-P-A-K-E, right? Death and destruction into your situation and life. They see you focused on your goals, and it's kryptonite to them, darling dears. Kryptonite. Big Cat, you had to look at the reality of the situation. They gambled on you having cognitive dissonance and being a people pleaser for air. They did. They did not expect the spiritual weight your words carry, darling dears. Nor did they realize your spiritual ranking. Well, they know it now, darling dears. They know it. They've got the t-shirt, the mug, and they're getting the wiki dubplate remix. You was guided by your ancestral team to choose distance over disrespect. You was. They stay mad and jealous in the spiritual prisons of their own making. And did I say they're getting a memo? Yes, baby. They're getting the memos. Because they refuse to let you out of their crosshairs, darling dears. And they are upset, pressed, pumped, and perturbed over what you got going on. But you did tell them, the few that were fortunate enough to get your last words, darling dears. And those words were, what goes around comes around. That karma doesn't forget an address. Let's dive in and press on at a hot trot. Oh, you have the energy of a 9. Can you see it? Okay, I'm going to put it to one side while we examine the cat, darling dears. We have to examine the cat to see exactly what's going on. The cat is on a number 3, darling dears. This is in the southeasterly direction, maybe the protagonists against your throne, darling dears, the big chair, They possibly live in the southeast, or maybe you live in the southeast. The energy of the 3, darling dears, speaks about family members, darling dears, people that was once your community. It also speaks about the 3 represented by the springtime. This is Chinese numerology, darling dears, aka a low shoe grid. Yeah, so it's family members, darling. There's always wishing you wickedness on you. They need to stop it. Why? They barely got any hairline left, darling. Their teeth look like a saber-toothed tiger. Yes, baby. The energy of the 3 is also about how you express yourself, darling. They don't like the way you shine. Your creativities, darling. It's up. It's got. Listen, your abilities creep up on like a cheap lace thong. I told you, you've got their psychological password, and you didn't ask for it. They put it in your hands. It's also a reminder to what? Guard against impulsivity at this moment in time and any form of scattered energy. Take the time to go within and think deeply, darling dears, before you act. The energy of the 9, let's drop down and get our eagle on. The 4 tells me that you're about to receive some form of communication. The energy of the 5 is about someone trying to threaten your foundation, or feels threatened by your foundation. The 4 and the 5 also speaks about you. Something is going to surprise you, darling. There's something that you've been working towards or working on. You're about to get a lovely surprise in that area. The energy of the 9, darling dears. Again, it speaks to what? The unexpected fortunate event, which is going to be unrolling over the next 12 months, darling dears. So it's going to turn up, but it's going to continue to what? It's going to gather momentum, darling dears. Remember, I told you that. The energy of the 9 is represented by the Hermit and the Moon card in Tarot. So it speaks about, yes, the inner introspection, but it also speaks about your intuition, your discernment. It's feminine energy. You may even be a mother, darling dears. But it's about you having completed some form of a cycle. You heard the confirmation. I can't make it up, darling dears. The energy of the 9th house, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. It's a cadent house, so it speaks about you may be taking some kind of long journey, possibly traveling to foreign lands, or foreign people will be traveling towards you. It's about your higher education. Maybe you're going away for further training or education, darling dears. It also speaks about you being on a spiritual path. Some of you you may even be a foreigner, a teacher, a religious leader, or a guru, or being seen as that. People look up to you, darling dears. They really do. It also speaks about the mind. Pay attention to your dreams, darling dears. They're going to be extremely prophetic over the next 12 months. Remember, I told you something is coming towards you, which is a happy event, and you're going to see unfurl over the next 12 months. Some of you are now, because the 9th house is about astrology, so yes, you've got a hold of your birth natal chart. You're looking at your perfection chart for future predictions of your trajectory. It also speaks about the higher courts, darling dears. You may be involved with the law, or in the legal profession, or you may have to get the law involved in this situation to back off these bottom feeders, darling dears. Nothing like a habeas corpus to make people what? Straighten up. It also speaks about strangers. I'm getting the impression that strangers are more helpful to you, more accepting of you than people that's known you since birth. The 9th house is juxtaposed to the 3rd house. The 3rd house speaks about the TV and the phone. So you're being watched, darling dears. Even though they may not be saying nothing, they're watching you. The 3rd house is representative of your siblings, neighbors, extended family like cousins, aunts, uncles. Yes, baby, they're all eyes on the throne. But we've also got did you travel a bit while you was young? Did you travel to foreign lands while you was young? Getting that impression as well. Somebody's also in the preliminary stages of higher education, or they're going to go on to higher education, because the 3rd house is the beginning stages of learning, and the 9th house is about to achieve said learning, darling dears. But it's again about how you express yourself. People don't like it. That's their business. They need to shut up and take their focus off of you. Why? Their hairline's nearly gone. It's pitchy patchy, darling dears. So many things have visited them. Mental problems, physical health problems, yeah, skrilla problems, And they've got that personality disorder, which they can't fix. Why? They haven't seen a counselor, a psychiatrist, or an exorcist, darling dears. And that's the truth, roof. Pinky's up. So let's get the energy of the 9. The 9 may be a significant day, date, or number in your life. The energy of the 9, your birthday could be the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th. The 9 is represented by the letters I and R. The number 9 is ruled by Mars, so this is Aries energy. It also speaks about you being a humanitarian. You're a caregiver, darling dears. This is what they're missing, that energy, that caring energy. Why? They're around the careless, just like them. Your luckiest numbers over the next few days will be the 3, 6, and 9. Your luckiest days will be Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. The numbers for you to avoid are 4 and 8. You're here to motivate others, darling dears, by how you bend the matrix, how you overcome situations. Why? Because you're an old soul. You are constantly transforming. People did not expect you to break out of the people-pleasing paradigm and drop them like a hot potato or potato, depending. Listen, different perspectives, darling dears. The 9 also speaks about sports. Somebody's getting into sports, or they'll be doing some form of sport in a foreign land. Okay. It speaks about your generous, forgiving nature. It's because you're humble, darling dears. They did not expect you to have what? Spiritual weight behind your words. But you do. The energy of the 9 is a very spiritual house, darling dears. Okay. Let's press on at a hot trot. And so let's see what the marauders want at your shapely back. Envying your everything, darling dears. Envying your everything. Yes, what did I say? And what you got going on is like kryptonite to them. They're taking note. They want to get their echopraxic on. Yes, baby. They want to copy your every move like a single white female. Have you seen that film? Okay, then. They're hating on your Lazarus, how you came back. If it was a partner, you were sleeping with the enemy, darling dears. These people are always slandering you. We've also got what? Arrested for DV. Listen, maybe the popo had to be called in them. I told you, the higher courts. Something to do with a radio, darling dears. Maybe you are on the radio, or you're going to be getting, what is it, a radio? Some solar radio? Okay, go for it, darling dears. Go for it. Right? It says what? Don't take them back. They're a repeat offender, right? And they deserve to be in prison with the prisoners, just like R. Kelly. Okay. Base of the deck. It was fool's gold, darling dears. Yeah, there was an opportunist, a clout chaser, fakeazoid, and a trickster, darling dears. Fool's gold, fresh is naive, shining in the sunlight. This got left behind. Sorry, I never supported you. Your dreams are and were too big for them, darling dears. Waiting for you to fail, but watching you win. Good golly and gosh. I will break you for They want to break you for leaving, darling dears. Really? They'd have to catch you. Like, especially as you're walking with what? A full-on Bermuda Triangle around them. And if they do dare to get you eye to eye, you give them the what? The Easter Island. Stevie Wonder. You're wearing your darkest glass. And confident in your 3 go-to moves. Okay. Let's get the Oracle Ancestral message. Yeah, guidance, darling dears. You are, people, as I said, people are going to be looking up to you, darling dears, because of this spiritual awakening that you've gone through. It's about your fortitude, how you overcome, darling dears. If you haven't, it's time for you to start telling your story. Do your testimony, darling dears, because you are sent to what? Help out another big cat. You are their survival kit and their inspiration. It also speaks about the 55. It speaks about a big change coming. Your routine is about to change up in a big way, darling dears. In the form of a new project or venture that you are attempting, or is going to be what? Revealed to you. But the biggest change that you've made in your life to date, darling dears, is putting yourself first and in reinvesting in yourself. Always invest in yourself. The 55 goes to a 10. 10 speaks about the ending of a cycle and the renewal of you. Whatever the situation or circumstance was, it's the renewal of you. I use the Pythagorean grid for my numerology. So the 10 goes, there's only 1 to 9 on the Pythagorean grid. So the 10 goes down to a 1. And the 1 is about your independence, darling dears. This new beginning, the number 1 is represented by letters AJS, as well as the big cat Leo energy, the sun, AIJQY. So it's AIJQY, as well as AJS, as well as it's the energy of the 9, as well as I and R. Okay, first, middle, or last name. What other messages do we have? Call your ancestors, darling dears. They can't help you out of any situation unless you ask. Remember, you have 64 at your disposal. Use your psychic abilities, 12th house and 8th house energy, darling dears. As well as the 4th house. And what? Research. And again, the energy of the 9, higher learning, darling dears. And it's also for you to research every situation. Use your intuition and discernment. Remember, there are many that's going to envy you for your gifts, darling dears. Especially if they get too close to you. First of all, they finally stand still and realize what it is that you are achieving, and they will become angry, they will become jealous, and they will become hateful. And in some cases, they're going to put a two-piece on you, and not from the KFC, darling dears. Remember, it's fool's gold for Gazy, and they are nothing but opportunists and clout chasers, right? Who's come through to what? Try and break you. Remember, I told you that. Yeah, they're going to tell you they're sorry they never supported you only because you told them what? Love and light. That's 2 of these and 1 of those. As my mom always told me, sorry can't buy soldier lorry, whatever that means. Listen, it brought me pause in my younger years. Okay, let's get a deck. Let's get a deck. Base of your deck, 5 of swords. Wash your face like David. This is all of the energies at your back, darling dears. They would like to recreate it, and it also speaks about someone wanting to change the situation. Sword energy is this person's rubbing their head. They didn't use any logic, darling dears. They didn't. There's 5 birds here, and it speaks about the conflict and confusion. Okay. Whenever we see birds on a card, darling dears, it also speaks about a divine messenger. This is a situation that you was inspired to break free from, darling dears, because you need to be around people that are of the same frequency, the same mind, so you'll be able to swap or exchange ideas as well as insights without feeling as though this person is going to be on the balls of their feet as a merchant of slander, or there to what? Poo-poo on any of your futuristic thinking ideas, darling dears. Yeah, someone needs to wash their face like David from a situation. Tell us some more. Good golly and gosh. We've got the Justice card, the Hierophant card, which is the God card in Tarot, and the Devil card. Look, whatever energies that are being sent towards you, darling dears, I told you a memo was sent out, and they're getting that memo in the form of what? Bad health, bad company that they're keeping, darling dears. This person wanted to keep you what? Codependent of them. In a situation where you were sent to be the karma for them, darling dears. This is 3 major arcana. What is this? 9 of swords. It also speaks about stress, darling dears. Lots of negative words being sent at your back. People that betrayed you, darling dears. They wanted you to be heartbroken for air. Clarify the Devil card on its forehead. Yeah. The leaving them behind was the right thing to do. Star card. It gave you a chance to heal. Right, on a quantum level as well as a soul level, darling dears. But for some of you, it speaks about a benefactor coming forward. Somebody that's going to either pour into you physically in the form of support, being there, and it could also speak about financial support, because the Hierophant is the 2nd house. The 2nd house is about someone coming to bring money to your table, darling dears. Could be in the form of a business partner. The King of Pentacles also represents a husband or wife, because you know gender is fluid in tarot. Clarify the Hierophant energy. Look, who's that? Hold on a minute. I'm just making a video. Hold on. Some of you big cats are going to be walking into a new relationship. This is the King and Queen of Pentacles. Loyalty, darling dears. Support, like-minded person coming into your life. The Star card also speaks about healing. This person or person is coming towards you healed, darling dears. Not broken. The Hierophant also speaks about marriage. It also speaks about tradition. Somebody who is going to be of the same level of integrity as you, darling dears. The Justice card behind it also speaks about contractual partnerships in the form of marriage and possibly business partners. Yeah, because of what you overcame, you still realize that you had the Two of Cups behind you, darling dears. And this is my ring bearing card. It also speaks about new opportunity. Look, red light, green light champion. You're going to build some kind of business together, darling dears. Let's get some more intel out. You're about to build a business. This person could be a significant other in a love sense, or it could be of the platonical kind, a good friend. How many of us have them? So they wanted to break you for leaving that situation or telling them to get lost. They wanted to break you. Why? Didn't they get what they wanted? No, they didn't, darling dears. These are people that are pressed about you. This is someone that is jealous of you. That, like I said, they may have more physical things than you have. A bigger title on this Malkuth, darling dears. But they don't carry the spiritual weight that you have, darling dears. That healing energy. Nine of Swords as well as the Four of Swords, darling dears. There's a lot of thought about you, a lot of talk, darling dears. But your back is to all of that energy. Whoever's talking, darling dears, you're minding your own business, focused on your own nest. Or maybe you're nesting. You could have been pregnant when you left the situation. Or you may have progeny from this previous situation with this High Commander Decepticon who envied your everything. The Swords energy, darling dears, also speaks about your learning, higher learning. Yep. It's represented by Archangel Raphael. Call him at any time. But it also speaks of, with the sword energy, you was the justice in the situation and you have a new adventure coming towards you. Yep. Three of Cups, an offer that you're going to want to take up, darling dear. Somebody's going to also be asking someone on a date. We've got the Three of... Listen, we've got 2 3s on the tableau, darling dears. Whenever we see 2 3, it's about your choices, your options. You keep your options open, darling dears, because it's a brave new world. This also shows that somebody's watching you on the internet. Whoever or this someone or someone's is, darling dears, every time they see you or she's naive, they're stressed out. This person is bitter, jealous, and all of the above, darling dears. Could be feminine energy. Let's put the Queen of Swords. I mean, Queen of Wands. I said Queen of Swords. Yeah, because you cut them off. I told you the cuttation was surgical, darling dears. You have a bitter, jealous energy. They're watching you live your best life, and you're relaxed about what you've got going on. Yeah. Very jealous, bitter energy that's on you. On the World card, they're watching you on the internet, darling dears. No, but like I tell you many times, bestie, it's a situation that's over for you, darling dears. Yeah. They're trying to see how you're making your money. Yeah. Because I told you, it's like a spiritual belf. It's affecting their health. The more they what you've got going on, send you all of those negative vibes, darling dears. Yeah. It's affecting their karmic path, darling dears. This is bad luck, bad vibes, bad energy. Law number 10 of the 48 laws of power to be avoided. Divine wants you to still continue to focus on your goals and your dreams. Whenever you see an archway, this is an opening for you, a portal, a gateway, a new beginning. Yes, we do see a lot of dull yellow, and again, that's about the envy. People didn't expect you to change, darling dear. 6 of Cups. The same people that would love to have a second chance in your life. But listen, you don't want the lying liar, the emotionally immature, the jealous, the embittered in your life again. They want a second chance, darling dears. A second chance. Listen. Empress energy on its face again, bitter. If they've got progeny, that progeny had to bite off the umbilical cord and hit the ground running. King of Cups. You're showing so much restraint and emotional maturity. You may be even doing yoga, but this is a calmer season for you, darling dears. A much calmer season for you. And again, we have this alignment, this partnership that's coming towards you, darling dears. First we saw the money side of it. Now we're seeing the emotional. That when you two get together, darling dears, this is going to be a match made in heaven. You're both wearing what? I think you're going to identify each other because you're going to have on similar jewelry. That is going to be the talking piece, or the exact same piece of jewelry, darling dears, which will be the opening of the conversation. You don't even see it coming. Both of you got your eyes closed, but this is part of the divine's plan, darling dears. Can't make it up. Look, Wheel of Fortune, fate, destiny. This is someone that you're going to hold a long-term vision with, darling dears. This also speaks about travel, being more adventurous. It's all about this envying your everything. Why are they envying your everything? Didn't they have a chance with you? Well, they can't now because your ancestors, you called them. Your ancestors, if they was working for the NFL, they'll be on the highest paid contract, darling dears. They're so good at blocking them out. Again, King of Cups. It's about your emotional maturity, darling dears. This is why you are in emotional alignment. And they envy your, if you have a family, darling dears, everything seems, look, the karma's on them like white on rice. 1010 also speaks about breakthrough, changes in your situation, darling dears. When you left that situation, you broke some kind of generational curse, some kind of hamster wheel of recycled karmic cycles, darling dears. It was a dramatic change. They didn't expect to break up. Somebody's about to have an accident, darling dears. Okay. The 10 of Cups, darling dears, is represented by come on, Case, think by Pisces. Yeah, Pisces energy. As well as Mars energy. Okay. Mars rules the head, right? The nose, the excretory tract, you know where that is. The pupashuta, right? The genitalia, the blood, the excretions that come from the genitalias, darling dears. Somebody's about to have an accident or an issue in that area. Okay, they need to stop wishing badness on you. I told you, the memo that your ancestral team are sending, darling dears, is coming in the form of physical or mental illness. Yes, baby, the boomerang of it all. Yeah, but again, this breathes into the situation, darling dears. If they envied you before, wait till this new person, this part of your soul tribe turns up in your life. Isn't that Cupid's arrows? Yeah, because you avoided the drama, darling dears. You chose you in a certain circumstance and situation. Clarify this King of Cups. They're envying it, darling dears. Well, they ain't seen nothing yet. Look, the success is on you. It's because you let go of those spiritual soul ties in a situation and you took this opportunity. This could be your progeny, or it's you taking this new opportunity to build something from the ground up. This is why they're mad. Yes, they didn't think it would go anywhere. Or whatever you work towards, darling dears. We've got the energy of the 9. When we see the 9 of Pentacles, it speaks about you staying away from drama. This is about you being independent and creating your independent wealth. Many of you were single by choice for a long time. Could be anything up to 9 years, 9 months, 9 weeks, darling dears. But it also breathes into the self-discipline that you had to apply to your situation in order to overcome. This is why you are being blessed, darling dears. And they're stressed out, mate. Yeah, they made the wrong choice, blood. The wrong choice. They like to chase snakes, eh? Proper sad, darling dears, crying into their fist. Well, that's their business. Was it Luke 22:62? They're crying bitterly. Let that bad juju stay around them, darling dears. These bad news bears. What's this? Because you hold the whip, and he or she who holds the whip runs things. You are Khaleesi or Carl. How dare they? They dare. They are bold. And what? Brash. And shameless. Give me one on the research. What does the big cat need to research? Temperance. This is your ancestral team, darling dears. Yep. And the King of Wands. As I said, some of you are getting a higher, are going to be put in a position where you're going to be a spiritual leader, darling dears. Many people will look up to you. It also speaks about you guiding them. This reminds me of one of the Pentacles, darling dears, but it's also the sun energy. This is you being a guiding light to others. You're going to be in a position where you're a public speaker, darling dears, and your words are going to carry spiritual weight. We have a line at the back. The line is representative of the 5th house. Your creativities, darling dears. Your talents. It's about you using your talents. But it's also about you feeling and looking more confident these days. However you're going to put this out, darling dears, it's going to feel like a hobby. It's not going to feel like work. And when your job feels like a hobby, darling dears, that's the best job for you to have. You was meant to be head and shoulders above the rest, but you had to realize that for yourself, darling dears. Find your self-worth. 9 of Cups. This is the universe saying, whatever you like. Yup. Clarify the Temperance energy, please, because you've been on a difficult journey, but it was all about healing from the inside out. And again, pay attention to your spiritual downloads. Look, I can't make it up. The God card. Yeah. 3 major arcana and the energy of the 3, darling dears. It speaks about you being able to express yourself authentically, right? In a group, or you are creating a group or some kind of community, darling dears, of people who are also breaking generational curses. You're a natural born speaker, darling dears. Continue to plan, plot and strategize. Ace of Cups also speaks about the new relationships, friendships that are coming towards you. This 9 goes to a 10. It also speaks about people that are in emotional alignment. You don't even see it coming in. It's coming in quickly. And again, this speaks about success, darling dears. You may have also purchased a new chariot of righteousness. Beep, beep. Why do I call it that? Because anywhere you go in your chariot, darling dear, that's your car, your vehicle, your motorbike, your moped, whatever it is, darling dears, is righteous. I'm also hearing mobile home or van life. Somebody's definitely going to be doing something different. You expect a sudden change in your income, darling dears. You've got 2 aces on the tableau. Sudden change in your tangible things as well as your relationships, darling dears. Yeah, expect the unexpected. But this is justice. Justice is also the 7th house of contractual partnerships. You've got new people coming towards you, darling dears. High Priestess energy. They're not going to be having any secrets. I'm seeing Manas on here. Lagaz, Hangman in reverse. Manas is the Fool. This is a new beginning for you. Perfro is the High Priestess energy. And we've also got Wunjo, Star card. New beginning, darling dears. Somebody is definitely a guru. You may even be a tarot reader, darling dears, but you are inspiring to many. You're showing people how to bend the matrix. Love it. And take a leap of faith in a new direction. It's a risk or a chance you took. This looks like the flower of life, darling dears, or the seed of life. Love it. Hangman. I just called the Hangman, and here it is. Major arcana. You are teaching people to see things from a different perspective, realizing maybe the perspective of the glass being half empty. No more. You teach them about the glass being half full. No matter what they take from you, they can't take away your dignity. Yes, baby. Come through, Whitney. Posh. Clap. Yeah. The greatest love of all, darling dears. World card. And again, it speaks about the World Wide Web. Maybe you are working with the World Wide Web, darling dears. Giving out your ideas and your intellect. But this is, as I said, the more you work on something that is a hobby, darling dears, it's like it's raising your spiritual vibration, bringing you peace, and you bring peace to others because you come with a new perspective. You help the people that are feeling stuck and lost, darling dears, by your words and possibly by your life story, what you've overcome. Yeah, Knight of Wands, you have a messenger coming towards you, darling dears. A messenger, 6 of Swords, pertaining to some kind of trip or a journey that you're going to be taking over the next few days. What about this trip or journey? You're not expecting it, darling dear, but it's going to be a life-changing trip or journey. Tower card. Nothing more from this deck. The deck don't want any more. It's got nothing more to tell us. Okay, so they're envying your everything. Somebody who committed DV, a repeat offender, right? Don't study me, you will never graduate. Listen, someone need to send them this, right? Major blessing in the next 7 days. Didn't I tell you something major is coming towards you? These people have the what? T-Rex arms with the Tripitaka waist, darling dears. Yes, they do, right? The progeny is what? Collateral damage. Listen, if you've got progeny with this person, they deliberately what? Avoiding them. Because why? They can't have you. It's telling us to pick a white card. Okay? Trying pushing us around, bestie. We don't like to be pushed around. Okay. Message is what? A cycle is over. It's in the reverse. Yep. The cycle of bull swanky, blood bra, or sistrine. Yeah. What else do we need to know? Karma in the reverse is a season of good dharma for you, darling dears. This is blessings. And what did I say? Major blessing within the next 7 days. This person is addicted to you, darling dears. And they're addicted to watching your level up. Good golly and gosh. Kryptonite to their eye chakras, darling dears. But that's their business. Anything more? What did I say? The coin is on its way, darling dears. Pentacles represent many tangible things. This could be a new home, a new job. You may be an entrepreneur, an upturn in your business, darling dears. But it's all about your fortitude. How you was able to overcome and persevere on new things. Look, I split the deck and it's still closed. The deck says nothing more. Shall we get one more deck? There we get one more deck. Let's go with the kipper. Give it a quick shufty. Yeah, envying your everything, darling dears. Fell right into my lap. It's a toxic situation that you're never going back to. It was always a destabilized foundation. Yeah. No new beginning, and the archway's bricked up, darling dears. Plus in the reverse, listen. If it was a relationship, darling dears, you should have always kept your expectations high. But you have what? You've gone back to those values. You're not jumping into any situation. The 2 and the 8 goes to a 10. 10 breaks down to a 1, and 1 is about you putting yourself first. It's the first house, darling dears. It's about your independence and you being more self-aware. Around this person or people, you had to wear a mask. You was more timid. The first house is also representative of a maternal grandfather or a paternal grandmother. They may be the ones that are going to have an accident, darling dears. Oh. My condolences. Ending of a pathway. I'm so sorry that I have to be the bearer of such bad news, darling dears. But a maternal, as I said, a maternal grandfather or paternal grandmother. Yeah, it's going to be a cause for concern, darling dears. But somebody's definitely got you on their mind. Let's pick this up. My condolences. What else do we need to know? Whose mind you're on? What are they thinking about you for? You who's minded your own business. Someone who you've got papers on them. Did they have someone in the background? Right? A shadowed figure. Someone that wanted to be you, darling dears. Well, guess what? They got the papers, mate. The P45 to get out. You're keeping your expectations high. You're not going to allow that situation, whatever it was, to happen to you again. Right? Because you know your worth and you've added tax. Base of the deck, darling dears. There's a whole community talking about you at this moment in time. Why are they talking about the big cat who minds their own business? Who's the CEO of minding their own business? Right? Yeah, because they would like to message you, darling dears. They want to send some kind of message to you, mature lady. But you're not on their level. You're not on their level anymore. You're not even free. Listen, what did I say? Surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. Yeah. Listen, your hard work is paying off, darling dears. Base of the deck, leave them where they are, impoverished, darling dears, as they watch your glow up. From the what? The outside the perimeter, darling dears. Outside the perimeter. Remember, karma's visiting them in the form of mental or physical issues, darling dears. Unable to trust anyone around them. Yes. And they have to sit with what they done did to you. Split the deck again. Yeah, proper press, darling dears. And it's on the energy of what? A 33. 33 is a master number, and it also speaks about you being a master manifester. You have to continue to use your voice and your vision to elevate others, and because it will in a profound way. You are a spiritual teacher, a spiritual badass, I might add, right? You was here to what? Express your unique gifts, share them with others, right? Express and teach. And look, you are always on their mind. Yeah. They may even be in prison with the prisoners at this moment in time, or imprisoned in a situation they're not happy about. Listen, they didn't appreciate you when you was the gift to the situation, darling dears. They didn't appreciate you. And now you have the what? The judgment. The judgment speaks about the second. They would love a second chance in your life, but it's also your second chance at life to build this secure foundation. And we saw the King and Queen of Pentacles as well as the King and Queen of Cups, darling dears. Someone who's going to match your gangster mentally, physically, and emotionally, darling dears. Leave the past to bury the past, the dead to bury the dead. You're bossing up on Mitches and bitches. And again, this is a divine union. All you had to do was realize your worth. You always had the red slippers, Dorothy. You always had them. On that notes, I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. Thank you very much for your continued support of me and these messages or massages. Your likes, your subscribes, your shares. Yes, baby, your bookings, your donations. I truly appreciate your appreciation. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, cat. Cat, cat.
How you came to be is no longer a mystery. Black sheep is your birthright. It's code for the one who brings the light. I bet if there's a crack, you don't fall back. Remember who you are. No rest for the wicked with their skullduggery. The you spell workers' projection to send out envy, hate, and jealousy. You are the prototype, your ancestors champion. They shield you and send back those spiritual attacks. You are divinely protected from the dummy bats. Yeah. Big cat, the most high, got your back. He sits high and looks low, so don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Big cat moving silence. Only time you speak is to say checkmate.